Hey guys, Chris Booker here with White River Marine. Today we're in Flippin, Arkansas at the Tracker Boats plant. We're going to go in here and see how the Grizzly 1650 Prairie Wings Edition and the brand new 1756 Marsh are produced right here in our facility. Everything begins right here at our plasma cutting stations. We have these large coils of aluminum that come in and they get put over onto our coil straighteners, put out onto our CNC plasma beds. Every part rolls off of those machines and then transitions. The hull comes over here to our large hole press where every hole will be broke before heading out to the main line for productions. So all of our boats are designed in 3D. Those 3D files are transitioned into cut files, which are then sent to our CNC plasma tables. These tables here will cut every material we have from 1/4 inch all the way down to 8/0 material. So every file, floors, holes, tab slots, all of that comes through here. So once the holes come off of those plasma tables and go to the press brake machine, we have our hole halves here. These are the 1650 nut boats. We also have the 1756s as well. Those hole halves will then come to our hole join station and start the process of becoming the full boat assembly down that line. All right. So here in the hole join station, we'll get our hole halves together, gunnels on it. This is where the boat starts to begin to look like a boat, guys. So follow me, we'll go through this whole process. These hole halves are joined with extra heavy duty keel extrusions, chine extrusions, and heavy duty gunnels. These duck boats are also produced in a 125 hull thickness. So that's heavier than anybody else in the industry for a standard boat. Once the hole halves come together, we'll move that boat up into the transom station where the boat will then be flipped over like what we have over here. The guys will join the bow of the boat, and then these expert craftsmen will put in the transom assembly, TIG welding all the way around it for premium level qualities. All right, so once the transoms go in the boat's turned back over, we'll move up to the next station where we'll put the bow top and also finish forming the interior of the boat, welding out the keel and the chines. So here, see where the guys 100% weld the keel and the chines in these boats, and the bow top goes in place. The nice thing about these boats is they have a 3-inch Schedule 40 pipe bull nose. As you can see here, we're not messing around. This thing is a absolute tank and meant to be run into a few trees here and there. But everything heavy duty, 125 with a 190 backer. We also have 4 spud pole tubes on all the corners that get put in at this location. Once these boats are welded in the bow top station, we have to go into our test tank. In our test tank, we're checking leaks in the keel, chine, and transom assemblies. This will be the last chance we can get to those areas and check everything over, make sure that we don't have any leaks or failures before we move up into structural. All right, guys, this is Dan Krieger. He's the weld supervisor over this whole side of the shop. All the duck boats run through him. He's over fab, weld, final weld. Dan, how long you been here, bud?
Been here since 2013.
So this is where we've got all of that legacy of all these skilled craftsmen who've been here well in excess of 10 years, right? You guys are doing a heck of a job building these duck boats and bringing all these craftsmen to bear on it. So I can't thank you enough, and I really appreciate all the time and effort you guys put into it. All right, so once we come out of that test tank, we're gonna move up here into the stringer station. The stringers are built offline on sub-assembly tables. They're a whole integrated interlocking system where then they're put into the boat here, pressed in place, gives us both longitudinal and transverse support, and sets us up for our patent pending structurally aligned transom system. So one of the key differences between the Tracker duck boats and other duck boats in the industry is our fully interlocking stringer assembly. This stringer assembly differs from the rest of the industry where other boats are just using an extruded material to run forward and aft in their boat, and they call that good. Everything just mounts on top of it. We didn't stop there. We have the extruded supports in the bow of the boat, but we also have this full framework that interlocks and gives us superior support in this boat compared to other manufacturers, and sets an even flat floor plane for us to be able to build off of in the boat as well. Once the stringer system is installed in the boat, then we bring it up into our decking stations. In decking, the first things that'll go in our duck boat line will be the rear pods. Once the rear pods go in, they are the main structure that supports the transom assembly. They are the structurally aligned to the transom and the stringer so that they act as the knee braces. They're built out of 125 material and they weld all the way down in. Then we put in our bat wing assembly as well, and then the all welded floor goes in. No rivets here. We plug weld everything down, grind it down flush, so you're not gonna have any of those exposed rivets in the floor of this boat. Once we get our rear pods in, we continue through the decking stations. So here you can see pods are in it, floors in it. We've got the gun box and the all welded gun box that'll be locking in the 1756 Marsh, and side tackle and just catch-all tray. Awesome deal there with the bow storage as well. All of these sub-assemblies are built right here in the shop over on our sub-assembly tables, full frames, just amazing support through all of this. Also has the recessed trolling motor tray up front, which is totally different than what other duck boats have done so far. Once all of the components are installed in these boats, we move into finish weld. This is where some of our absolute top craftsmen, best welders in the industry come in, and they're gonna go through and put the final finishing touches on this boat. Just amazing TIG welds throughout. So once everything is signed off on quality's happy, all the updates and any kind of improvements have been made there, the boat moves over into the foam area. We use our machines here. We have programs for every single boat for all of our foam shots so that we ensure we get a consistent foam fill in every product. So if they're foaming a 1756 Marsh edition, they're just gonna pull that program and they're gonna have to go through their order so they get all their shots in there. It's a self-expanding foam, so we fill the hull sides all the way up so the boats are super solid. You're not gonna get that loud, tinny, echoey sound that older aluminum boats would have had. So we'll go through, we'll have foam shots hid everywhere we can get them and just fill this boat up full. Like here, we're working on cleanup on this one. We get a little extra foam that comes out because we do fill them so full of foam here. All right, so once we're done with foam, we go into paint prep. So in here, we begin the process of getting ready to go to paint. Everything's gonna be sanded down smooth. We'll DA everything, then wipe it down, de-oil, and decontaminate the surface so that we can roll into the paint base. Once all contaminants are removed and all the surfaces are sanded smooth, ready to go, we'll tape everything off and get ready for our Sure Tread application. This is a grit into a paint that we spray on the interior and top of the gunnels of the boat to allow everybody to walk through the boat in slick conditions without slipping or sliding or slipping on ice or something. We go ahead, we tape everything off here because as we're gonna spray that non-slip aggregate on the inside of the boat, we don't wanna get that on the sides of the boat. We wanna keep the sides of the boat nice and smooth. So all of that'll be taped and masked off so that while they spray the interiors. So here, the boats come into the paint booth, and this is where we'll go ahead and spray the top layer. This will all be Sure Tread non-skid, and then the non-aggregate will be sprayed on the side of the boat, as we were saying. Everything will be sprayed here, cured out, and then pulled back in for the next coat. Once the Sure Tread is sprayed on the inside of the boat, it'll move over here and we'll go ahead and get our final base coat layer of green applied to all the duck boats as well as other Grizzly models as well. Once this is all cured out, that's when we move to camo. So once all the base coats are applied, the boat will be brought back into another booth where we hand stencil all of our camo patterns, whether it be our woodland or grassland camos. The first layer will be a woodland. It'll go down here as you can see. And then if it's a grass camo, we will apply the grass layer over top of this, giving us more depth in that camo and more contrast. So every boat is unique. When we go to lay camo stencils, everyone has its own, will be hand done, so every boat is separate. But during the prototype process, the painters, myself, the finish supervisor, we all come in here together and we begin to map out how do we want this boat to lay out in camouflage? Which direction do we want the grain patterns? How do we want to transition from the floor up the side? So the boats do have a consistent look when sitting on the showroom floor at your Bass Pro Shop or your Tracker dealer, but everyone will still have its own unique bit because they're not going to get that in the same spot every time, right? But that's part of the beauty of these boats. They are hand done by skilled craftsmen. All right, so once the boats come out of the camo booth, we'll come up here on the turner and we'll allow the boat to fully cure. Now it does bake in the oven for a period of time, but we're gonna go ahead and let it cure out once it comes outside. That way the paint's super durable and in its final state before we go ahead and move into our finish areas. So once completely done with paint, boat's cured out, then we'll move into our finish area here at the shop. This is where all of our electrical harnesses will be routed through the preset in rigging tubes that are already run through the boat over in the weld side of the shop. So all of our rigging system is completely ran during the build so that it makes it easier for the customers to run anything aftermarket after the fact, but also for our guys here to go ahead and run it and get these boats out as fast as we can. With that, we'll go ahead, we'll get our lids put in, all of our hinges put on. With a tiller boat, there's not a ton of electronics. We don't have a console or anything like that to worry about, but we go through, we have a standard trolling motor harness, and all of our wiring switch panels will all be put in at this location. So on all of our duck boats, we have pre-run rigging tubes, and with that, we've already built into our switch panel accessory switches that are being used by aftermarket components that the customer may want to install. These boats are really popular to have LED light bars, winches, all kinds of items installed on the front of these boats. And that's what we have right here. Already pre-run into the rigging system and wired to our switch panel, we're ready to go. You want to put your light bar on, we can run wires in here, crimp them up, and you're all set. You're on a push button breaker, everything's there. We also have trolling motor harness for 24 or 12 volt already ran in the boat as well. So once all of our electricals ran and we're good there, we'll move up into our engine rigging bays. So here, any kind of kickback plates, jack plates, engines, any accessories that go on the transom are gonna get hung here and wired up. So we'll be all set to go once we leave this station to go into our test tank and validate all of our systems and components. So once everything is finished on the boat as far as electrical systems, engine being hung and routed, we will go ahead and bring these boats back over. We'll lift them back in the air and put them back in another test tank. This lets us test the entire electrical system, bilge pumps, check for leaks, the whole gambit, right? We wanna make sure that this boat is ready to go when it comes out of that tank. All we gotta do is apply decals at that point. Once we're done with the test tank, all of our systems are verified, we're good to go. We're ready to put on decals. We're ready to go ahead and install these premium Aqua Traction EVA mat kits that go all the way through the interior of the boat with a full custom design that was done by our industrial design department at Bass Pro Shops. Once all the mat kits are installed, decals are in, we are good to go. The last thing to do is to pull the boat up, get it on the trailer, make sure that it's all fit properly, and then we will go ahead and install our shipping cover. We use a full chine shipping cover to ensure that the boats are in as good a condition when they get to the dealer as they were when we put them on this trailer for the very first time. Thanks everybody for coming along with me today. I really appreciate you taking a look at these brand new products from Tracker Boats, the 1650T Prairie Wings and the Marsh 1756. These are going to be awesome products, and I hope you can see just how much attention to detail goes into these boats here.